Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. I've finally up again. I keep having technical difficulties. Next check or thing that I am going to do is check on my internet provider. Um, Also, been dealing with medication changes. Yeah, no, it wasn't working, so I'm back on my regular regimen, and I seem to be doing better. So today we're gonna start off or we're going to continue in our series of Let's Make a Journal. And today I'll be showing you how to sew in the journals. Three signatures, one, two, and three. And here is where it is sewn in. See where my nail is, two and three. And these are the tails I leave. And so I'm going to show you how to sew these babies in. Oops. Oh my goodness. Okay. There we go. There's one, two, and three signatures. Each signature has 10 pages. Folded in half is 20 times 4 is what? 80? Anyway, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 times 10 is 40 times 3 is 120 page journal. I will not give you a flip through because we are not finished. But the step that I'm going to show you is how to sew them in. So let me tell you what you're going to need. Of course, you're going to need your cover that I already showed you how to make. You are going to need your signatures. One, two, and the third one is right here. You are going to need something to sew in the signatures. What I use is embroidery floss. You are going to need a sort of needle, or I use this. Let me see right here. I'll put this here. And you all probably don't know what it is. I can't remember the YouTube video that I saw it. It was a card maker, and she was making a card with ribbon in it or on it, and so she used this little thing. And what it is a flosser for people that wear braces. I cannot tell you how many times I've pulled this out. It comes in a little plastic bin, a little bin, and it's inexpensive. They're $2, and I don't know if you get 50 or 100 or 1,000. There's a whole bunch of them in there, and they're very useful to getting things into little tiny holes. But I will show you how I use this to sew in my signatures. So if you don't have this, you can use a needle. You can thread the string in manually if you want, but I use that. It's a flosser again for braces. I found it at my local Walmart. It is in the toothpaste aisle where the toothbrush, the regular flossing thing is. You'll see them, and they look like that. The embroidery floss. You're going to need a ruler, a pencil, and I use a big crocodile. This is a big crocodile. It's called the Big Bite, I think. Crocodile 2. Um, I have the big one. I love it. If you do not have this, all this baby is, it makes holes. Let me show you. And it sets eyelets. But see that little thing right here? Right here. In there. It makes holes. If you do not have that, you can use a thumbtack. You can use anything that will make a hole. And this is a size hole. Oops. One of the size holes. This is the smallest one it makes. um, I kind of prepped some things so we can save time, and that way I can open it up if you have any questions. If you are watching the replay, go ahead and leave me your comments and I questions, concerns, um, and I will address you. Okay, so this is my cover that I showed you how to make, and I'm going to show you how I measured this. Let me make sure I'm in frame. Great. So what I do, since I use this cover, I've been using it for quite a while now. I am getting familiar with it. So I kind of have my measurements down. I hope you can see that, but I will tell you. Okay. So, oops, let me turn it around. This cover is 8.5 long. So what I do is I go to the middle, which is 4 1/4, and I make a little mark right here. 4 1/4 is the center, a fourth. Then I divided it, and this is how it comes out to be even. I make a mark at the 1 1/2, 4 1/2, 6 1/2. Again, 1 1/2. I make a little line, a little dot here. 4 1/2, 6 1/2. Then I take my ruler and I go across. So that was a 1 1/2. The next one is at 4 1/2. The next one, hello. Hi, Mac Jewelry. Let's see, Mac Jewelry and more. Good evening. Thank you for joining me. And the last mark is at 6 1/2. I am showing how you sew it, or how I sew in my signatures in my journal, and specifically with this journal cover that is part of the series. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them, and I will answer you. Okay, so again, the measurements are 1 1/2, 4 1/2, and 6 1/2. I just drew a line across. Now, I'm going to flip it around because it's easier to show you the little lines. Hi, Mac Jewelry. It's Misty. Delma. I'm a Feather Design Team member. Design team member of who? Which design team member? I mean, design team are you talking about? I'm actually a member of 2 or 3. Let me know, Mac. Or Misty, right? Yeah, Misty. Lindsay. Oh, Lindsay Zenor, Nevermore Creation 17. Hello, my fellow design team member. I just want to make sure which design team you were on with me or together. Okay, so the reason I turned it over is because when we make the journal, right, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, and I turned it around to show you that I do every other one. So there's a hole here, and I skip one, a hole here, I skip one, and a hole here. Now, you can place them in between if you like, or on the lines. I like to do mine on the lines, and I'll show you why in the one that I already have sewn in. Close to the front cover. You're on Tsunami Rose as well. Ooh, I would love to be on Tsunami Rose design team. Awesome. I need to head on over to your channel and watch your design team projects. I always need inspiration. So that's why I do it on the first line, because it is the reason I skip a line. Let me show you. Is so that I have a 1/4 inch between the first signature and the second signature. And let me show you. There's also a 1/4 inch between the second and the third. And on the back cover, it's kind of flush. The reason I do this is I like chunky monkeys. I call chunky monkeys, or reason I do it that way. This is just a package of Happy Mail that I got, but I want to show you why I do this. I just got it. This is the middle of the first signature. Look what happens to the spine. Nothing. And to go, it starts to warp, or it starts dipping, ripping, making a little ridge right here. That's why I skipped the 1/4 inch. And this is just the first one, the first signature. So I'm just going to grab my notepad here. Let me go to the second signature. Look at how thick that is. I'm going to add more in there. And then let me see, what else can I grab from my desk. Some more Happy Mail that here that I have to make a video on. I'm going to put it in your third signature. And look what happened to the spine. Absolutely nothing. See? That's why I skip in between the lines right here and I leave that fourth of an inch in between the signatures. So now you have all that in there, because I know that for my journals, my personal journals, they're chunky monkeys to begin with. And then as I start collecting receipts and photos and XYZ that I want to put in my journal and in the pockets and add this and washi tape in and tape in, staple in, whatever I want to do in my journal, it starts becoming more chunky. So that's why I skip. Let me put this back where it was. My notes. That's why I skip the fourth inch. Yes, thank you. The kit is from Calico Collage. It is called the Bella Rose. It is available through um, lindaisrael.com. It's a digital subscription, and I loved it. And I bought it. It was for March, and I believe you can still get it. And I love it. So that's my reasoning behind skipping in between the lines. So let me turn it around. The reason I turned it around is that you can barely see where the lines are because I backed up the spine with some fabric. There you go. You can barely see it on the camera. That's why I flipped it over to tell you that. Okay, so after I've done my lines, I flip it over because it's easier to see these lines on this side. I take my crocodile. I can do it here, right? But to show you, I'm gonna flip it over because it's hard for you to see. But I go in with my crocodile and then I just mark every other one with my pencil, right? Put a little dot and then take my crocodile, put it in there, and punch the holes 1, 2, and 3 across, and make sure they're in a straight line, and then the middle, and then the last ones. Whoops. So this is prepared. Then you will take your signatures, and what I do is I center it so it can have a little bit of leeway on the top and a little bit of leeway on the bottom, and then on the side make sure that it's flush. With this cover I also have the same amount of leeway around. Can you see it? Oh, I'm so sorry. Right here. See this little